Okay, guys, let me know if you guys can hear me, if you guys can see me well. And let's get right into this. All right, so we got some chat going on here. Let's see what we got. All right, so the first question I have, by the way, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are. Today we got 10 questions. Once again, I'm going to be going over with you, and I'll be answering any of the questions that you guys want to ask me. And let's see who has passed today. In the last couple of weeks, all we've been saying is congratulations. A lot of folks has been passing, so good to that. All right, so let's go through here and see what you guys got to say. All right, so I got the first question up. I got is from SGTTG. It says, "Hi Andrew, I'm taking my exam in less than 19 hours." I know when you have that exam coming up so soon, it kind of bothers you, right? It's kind of like worrisome. You maybe have a little bit of jitters. Can we bring snacks or coffee to the test? No, you can't. How many questions would I need to get right to pass by a minimum? So, that's the other question is how much questions do you need to get right? And no one knows the answer to that. PMI does not publish a passing score. They used to, back 5-6 years ago, PMI used to publish a passing score of 61%, but they stopped doing that a while back. So no one actually knows. And I would think you need about 60-70% of those questions correct to pass. I would say about 60% minimum to pass, but that's my speculation. It's not something published by PMI. So PMI never says, oh, you need these particular questions to pass your exam. All right. Satish, I remember you from a couple of sessions, not even attending. Thank you for your live video. I passed my exam on 4/13. Very good. Couldn't log in last week. Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations to that. Don't forget the cake and the beer. Maybe you already had the cake and the beer, right? It's been 2 weeks. Great feeling to know. Thank you for coming back and letting us know. Let the group know that you're passing and you're doing well. Somebody else here is, I think that's Sergeant Tiggy. I think that's your name there. Appreciate all the work you do. I've been going back and forth on taking your mock exams and PMI mock exams. Just do as much mock exams as you could. The more mock exams you do, the better. Somebody says, Pearson says no food or drink in arm's length. Yeah, you can't. While you're taking the exam, you cannot eat and drink while taking the test, right? So you can't be on the exam and be like this, like I just did. I don't think you could do that. Generally, your desk has to stay clear. All right, Satish, that passed the exam, says it's a lot easier than feared. That's so true. Remember the video I did that said why the PMP is easier than before? I remember doing that video, and that was after speaking to quite a few students. Not a lot, but I would say quite a few, maybe about 20, 30 students. And I had got the feeling this exam was a lot easier. And then it turned out that I think it really is that easier. It is a lot. You remember, if you know that mindset, if you understand your concept, you know your mindset, it's not that difficult. I have not seen so many people pass PMP exam in forever. So, teaching this for nearly 15 years, and I have never seen the amount of people that are passing the PMP now. It could just be because there's so much people taking it that by default you're going to have a lot more people passing. It could be that, but it's interesting. A lot of people are passing. The amount of, if you're on my LinkedIn, by the way, send me a LinkedIn invite if you haven't. The amount of congratulations I say every day is unbelievable. People saying, oh, thank you for helping me pass with the study materials and so on. Like my book and my videos, unbelievable. Anita says, all right, here we go. Another congratulations. Hi, Andrew. I passed my exam last Saturday. Above targets in all areas. Good score. Perfect score, probably. Congratulations to that. Don't forget the cake. Don't forget the beer. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back and letting the group know. That means a lot to everyone. such an amazing feeling to know when you finally finish this exam. By the way, don't unsubscribe to my channel. I will be adding some new content. It's just I've been so busy at work. Unfortunately, guys, I have 3 schools I have to manage, so busy at work. But I want to do some additional YouTube videos to like what do you do after PMP and so on. All right. Okay, so somebody here's a great question that I would love to answer for you. Jinxie, Jinxie 108 says, I'm debating taking the exam from home or at a center. Any suggestions? Take it at home. Do not take this exam in a testing center, in my opinion. Why would you want to go to a testing center? I don't know, unless there's no way for you to take it at home. The biggest requirement for taking at home is, of course, having the technology, such as a computer with a webcam, and, of course, having a quiet room. If that's not available to you, maybe you live in an area where the internet connection is not good, or maybe you just have a household with a lot of folks living inside. Maybe you got a couple of kids running around. If you don't have that quiet space and the technology, then it would make sense to take it to a testing center. But if you do have a quiet space, if you do have that technology, you got a good internet connection, you have that webcam, please take it at home. Because you know what? When you take it at home, it's less stressful. You don't have to travel to a testing center. You don't have to sit in their chair, in their room, and in their temperature. Listen, this is my personal office. As you guys can see, this is where I do all my work every day. So this is my chair. I have a big screen monitor in front of me. It's like a 40-inch monitor. It's my table. It's a standing table. So, it's my setup. I'm happy sitting here. So it's a lot less stressful. So I don't know why you would ever want to go to a testing center. And once again, unless you have that technology problem or quiet space problem. But please, take it at home. The best thing PMI could have done was make this test online. All vendors are doing that now. Cisco, Microsoft, and so on. Would you say the mock exams are harder than the real one? I think the mock exams, or some of the mock exams, depending on what you do, is going to be on par with the real one. The real one is very vague. The real one is very vague. It is very, very different than a lot of the mock exams you will see. It's very situational, not so direct. If you're doing mock exams where the questions might be directed, it may be, the real exam might be a lot different. Okay, so Satay said water is allowed. So you're saying, okay, so I didn't know that. So it says water is allowed and napkins, but no food. That's why you have that 10-minute breaks. Okay, good. So I didn't know that. So you could drink water during the exam. Satay is saying that. I'm not sure. I didn't know that. I thought the desk had to be cleared away. I did an exam with Pearson VUE. I redid my Security Plus last year, and I couldn't have anything on the desk. But he says that water is allowed. Okay, interesting. So maybe water is allowed. Okay, guys. 7 no joke 7 no snacks allowed. Not even water. Oh, wait a minute. Now we got some conflicting. So Satay says water is allowed. 7 no joke 7 water is no snacks allowed. Not even water. You have to leave it in your locker. Okay, so if you do the exam at a testing center and you get a locker, yeah, you can't bring anything to the testing room. That I know. I've taken many exams, over 100 exams at the testing centers, and you can't take anything. So if you do it at the testing center, I think you can have anything. If you're doing it at home, maybe you can have a water. I don't know. I'm hearing some conflicting data here. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to sit for this PMP, guys. Question, what is the difference between a steering committee and a sponsor when it comes to project sign-off? So that's a good question. And then he goes on to say, does it depend on the size of the project? Good. This is a good project management question. Project steering committees are generally only on large projects. Because on a small project, you may have just one person as your sponsor. On these bigger projects, you have a steering committee that drives the direction of the project. Here, hint the word steering. So I don't think you're going to have a steering committee on a small business project. You just don't have enough people to run a steering committee. So it does depend on the size of the project. All right. Alexander says, passed my exam last Thursday. Beer and cake. There you go. You know the deal. Beer and the cake. Absolutely. All deliverables were on time and customers were delighted. Excellent. This is good news. I love hearing that. And you had the beer and the cake already. Congratulations to that. Celebrate well. Make sure to drink a lot of beer. All right. George says, thanks, Andrew. I passed my exam on Friday, above target in every area. I feel it was 60% predictive and 30% agile. That's the first time I'm hearing. George is saying, this is pretty interesting here. He says it was 60% predictive. Now, if you guys have been following me in these live sessions, you would have realized that a lot of times students were saying the opposite, right? They were like 70% agile, 30% predictive. That's really, really interesting. 60% predictive. George also goes on to say, bottom line, stick to the PMP mentality and go with your intuition. Yes. I had pie and beer. Well, I'm not a fan of pie, George. Just can't do a pie. I prefer cake. I'm not a fan of. No, I don't like any pie. So, I guess pie is fine. So that's interesting. 60% predictive. Maybe the exam is starting to. The exam should be 50%, 50%, right? That's how PMI publishes their objectives. So maybe they're starting to go back to that. Maybe PMI is on our study group here, and they figured out that everybody knows there's too much agile on here. So they're like, all right, we're going to start putting in some predictive questions. Maybe that's what's happening. All right, I haven't studied for a week and a half due to work. Should I start your course all over? I don't think you need to start my course all over. Just start where you left off and then go back and review what is it you felt that you need to review on. All right, the question, what is levels of listening? Oh, you need to review the Agile section on my Udemy class, okay? One of your questions, Demi, had active listening is level 3. There's different levels of listening, level 1, level 2, level 3. When you're more engaged, when you're listening, you got to review your Agile section for that one. Okay, George also goes on and says about 35% Agile, he says. Charles says, hello, Andrew. Passed my exam thanks to your books and these videos. Thanks for what you do. Thank you for buying my book. And congratulations. Don't forget the cake and the beer there, buddy. Carrot cake in particular. So always, once again, amazing feeling to know that you passed. Thank you for coming back and letting the group know. Once again, to all of you guys that join here, make sure to come back and let us know. All right. Okay, what else do we have here? Can you briefly explain what? That's something, the Cynics model, that's something you're going to find the video for. That's a long explanation. That you're going to find in stakeholder management. All right, what other questions do we have here? Thank you for your tips on the application form. I used your template too. I just got accepted to take the test. Congratulations to get your acceptance. For those of you guys that don't know, please, if you're doing your PMP application, if you have my course, you have a lot of videos where I go over that PMP application, which would help a lot of people submit it. All the students here at TIA, our live classes, all use those. The template I did with the application is amazing. You can just reword that to match your project and you'll be fine. Somebody says, Andrew, I got 67 in your test too. 67, I would hope for a little bit of a higher score. Do more review and then take your actual test. Tacit knowledge. This is knowing knowledge. Things that you absorb in the environment. Somebody's asking me, what is that? Things you absorb in the environment. Like, you watch somebody fix a printer and then you figure out eventually how to fix a printer by just watching someone. It's all knowledge that is gathered over time. Writing your exam on Thursday, good luck. I know you're starting to get some butterflies there, but keep working towards it. If you're taking an exam from home, you are not allowed scratch paper, to my knowledge. You got to use the PMI whiteboard. the whiteboard that they give you where you have to draw on it. All right, Alexander says big emphasis on servant leadership and agile. Yes, servant leadership is one of the key concepts to the PMP methodology mindset. Make sure you guys review the video I did here on YouTube about my best tip to getting situational questions correct, and it deals with servant leadership. If not, just do some research on servant leadership. Myers-Briggs question or two. I did do a video on that. Make sure to review that. Storming Norman, you're going to... Every PMP from the beginning of the time had Tuckman's ladder in there. Ray says, I got my cake, passed my exam on Saturday. Congratulations. How about the beer? Did you get the beer? I should have used your materials from the beginning. Your live sessions were key to passing. Should have used my materials from the beginning. I always recommend people to use my materials. But hey, there's a lot of other good... Guys, always remember, there's a lot of great materials, great video courses and live courses that are out there, just not my material. Although I would like if you use my stuff, but there's really good materials other than my stuff that's out there. No scratch paper calculator or pen. Yeah, you can't have... So the exam comes built in with this like on-screen calculator, by the way. For the PMI application, can I put one project for 36 months? That'd be great. If you can do one big project that's 36 months, meets all the requirements, you're good. Don't worry. I've had a lot of people do that, especially construction folks who, some of these construction, building some large structures takes an incredible amount of time. So sometimes they put one project in, some major product development, one project also. It's fine. One project on your application is fine. You don't necessarily have to have 2 or 3 projects. Any more free prep tests? Well, this is a free prep test we do. Every week we do 10 questions. Alexander, you passed your exam. I say you're researching PDU. I'm going to be giving you guys 60 free PDUs coming up soon on the Technical Institute of America channel. I can't do it on this channel because me by myself, I am not a PMI authorized training provider, but the Technical Institute of America is. So they're on that channel. I am going to give it a month or so. I got to come up with some of the main core content. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing just like these live streams we're doing, except it's going to be on another channel where if you attend the 1-hour live streams, you're going to get some PDUs for it. Can you get above target, below target, and still pass? I think so, because above target, people, process, and then below target would be, so there's 3 domains, right? People, process, and business environment. And if I remember right, now I'm getting old, guys. I can't remember numbers all the time. Business environment, I think, is 8%. So I think if you get below target on that, you should still pass. I think so. I would assume so. I really think so because it's only 8%. I can't imagine you failing for 8%. But PMI doesn't publish that score, so we're not too sure. All right, Ray says, here's an interesting breakdown. This is an interesting one here. Look at this, guys. Ray says, here is the breakdown of my exam. Agile and hybrid, 60% was agile. Matching questions, 10 EVM questions. That's a lot of EVM. I've not heard that much before. 4 MBTI. I've heard about 2 or 3. 4 is kind of high there. Tuckman's is always a lot. That's interesting there, Ray. 10 EVM questions. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of EVM questions there. Maybe you got that's interesting. I've not heard about so much. Somebody says to me, can you explain the Delphi technique? So the Delphi technique is when you bring experts together. Well, not really bringing them together because sometimes Delphi is done in an anonymous method in order to gain consensus or opinions. You see, when you bring experts together and they're not anonymous, they tend to fight with each other. You know who fight a lot? Experts, because they think they know everything to each other. So Delphi technique works well if you want to anonymously gain consensus out of them or gain their opinion out of something. Okay, Alexander said, I saw the no food, no water too. Yeah, I don't think you can have any food and water while taking your exam. Anita says, the mindset was key for me. I reviewed the day before. If you apply the mindset, the questions just make sense. Thank you. If you guys remember something, guys, if you get the book, right? If you have the book, if you have the videos, remember the book comes with videos too. Review the mindset section. Review the mindset section really well. I've heard multiple people told me that they reviewed the mindset section the day before they take the exam, and that was incredibly helpful. GG for PMP says, Andrew, thank you for taking the time to support us. It doesn't take me much time, right? It's an hour. Well, thank you for acknowledging that. And then it doesn't take me, it takes me an hour and a half to help you guys out. And just knowing people pass is an amazing feeling. Again, remember, guys, you don't have to be my student. You can use you can be anybody's student. If I can help you pass, that's a great thing. All right. Somebody says here in Spain, Madrid says, I had to leave everything out of the testing room. Yeah, so 7 no joke 7 means you had to take your exam at a testing center. And in the testing center, it's 100% guarantee you will not be able to take anything in the testing center because you have a locker you got to put stuff in. This is a good one. Sultana says, hey, Andrew, when will your mock exam simulator be out? The one you mentioned last week. So I am working on what I believe to be the best PMP exam simulator. I'm really passionate about it. I built a big, giant exam engine for it. It's gonna be affordable, and it's gonna have a twist. It's gonna have some amazing practice questions like I do here with you guys, situational questions. And it's gonna come with something extra that I can't reveal yet. Unfortunately, the exam engine, and because the content is so good, it's going to take another month, unfortunately. But I think when my exam simulator comes to the market, it's going to be the best one out there. All right. I believe so. And I'm going to give you guys, the opinion is going to come from you guys. And for the folks that have seen it, some of my students here at TIA or live students have seen it. And they have used, it's not ready yet, but they've used parts of it. They absolutely love it. And they have compared it against other simulators. They love it. But unfortunately, it's not ready to be sold yet. Satay said, I checked with the proctor for water and napkins. I had allergies. Said to put my desk in front of a mirror so they could see me at all times. That's interesting. He says, Satay says, I had to put my desk in front of a mirror so they can see me at all times. Wow, that's unique. I've taken quite a few online exams, and I've never had to do that. My desk is against well, you guys can see it's facing a brick wall behind me with my TV behind me. It's interesting to put your desk. Never heard of that before. All right, what else more do we have here? Andrew, thanks for taking your time. Thanks for taking time from your busy schedule to support us. Hey, if you can pass, it means a lot to me. 60% agile. That sounds more like it. Okay, 60+% on agiles for Charles' exam. Seven no joke 7 says, this is a good question. How can you explain triple nickel? Now, I'm going to try to remember this out of my head. Sorry, guys, I don't remember every single thing from the course I created and from the book I wrote, right? Triple nickel, 5 people, 5 ideas, 5 minutes. All right, I think I got that correct. Correct me if you're watching this video back next week and you're like, hey, Andrew, that's probably not correct. You got to watch my video on it, right? You find this in the retrospective section. Look in my PMP course. Go down to Agile, one of the last section, continuous improvement probably or something. Retrospectives. Go to retrospectives and then look. There's a video on that. Triple nickel. So I think it's 5 people working on 5 ideas in 5 minutes, something like that. So it's 5, 5, 5. It's triple nickel. Hey, Andrew, I'm writing my exam on June 11. Do you think your test engine will be out by June? Yes, it will. It will be guaranteed. The site is built. The exam engine is built. The website is finished building. They're just connecting the exam to the website now. The content is almost done, but there's a unique content to it. Something that's going to blow your mind away. But I can't tell you what it is. It has to come out first. Something there's never been an exam engine like this. Something very unique about it. You'll see. All right. Hopefully, you can use my exam, and then you'll let me know how well you pass your exam with it. Carrot cake for the win. Steve, I'm with you. I love a good carrot cake. Always good stuff. I had an issue when I do your exams. I got 90%. When I do other exam, I got like 70. Is it safe to book the exam? I think you're fine. 70% of all their exam is good too. I think you're good. You should have booked your exam already. Go take your exam. I think you're gonna be fine. Keep my mindset in mind. I think you'll be all right. Somebody says, they're asking Ray. May I ask what type of MBTI questions? 5 is quite a lot for MBTI, but if Ray wants to tell us, Ray will let us know. Are there any seed questions in 2021? I think so, Steve. Seed questions, are you asking me like questions that's not counted towards your score? I'm not sure if that's what a seed question is. I think there's about 5 or 10 questions not counted towards the score, but you don't know what they are. Okay, so this is a good question. The difference between acceptance criteria and the definition of done. That's a good question. Acceptance criteria is used in predictive projects. So this is what you're going to get right out of PMBOK. Definition of done is what you're going to get out of an agile project. Before you start developing a product in agile, you and the customer, the team members and the customers, they need to understand what exactly is the definition of done. What I mean by the definition of done, I'm saying something like, when I complete this project, how do I know I'm actually finished with this thing? So we have to define that when you're building the product. So for example, let's say you're building an accounting system. And how do we know when it's done? Well, maybe because it can produce this particular report. Maybe it can output this particular ledger of transactions needed to be paid. Definition of done. Now, acceptance criteria is basically almost the same thing, but it's set up generally in the beginning of a predictive project to say, oh, when you have completed this is what we're willing to accept. And it could be basically the same thing there. But the terms are used, although they basically mean the same thing, they're basically, one is more predictive to one is more agile based. Alexander said, that's amazing. What space should I watch for? The TIA channel? Yeah, just go to YouTube. You know what? Let me give you guys that channel. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me give you guys this YouTube channel. You guys, so if you have passed your PMP, okay, if you guys have passed your PMP, you guys can subscribe to this channel. This is the Technical Institute of America channel. This is the official channel for the school. There's a link to a YouTube channel there. subscribe to that channel. And in the next month or so, I would say 2 months maximum, because I got to finish this exam engine. Then we're going to be doing some live streams on that channel. Not necessarily me, though. Other instructor, Michael Monteverdi and Sam, are some other instructors that we use that may be hosting these PDU sessions. But these PDU sessions are going to be pure project management. The PDU sessions are going to be things like managing a scope on a project, how best to make a schedule, and so on. Just pure project management stuff, not necessarily PMP. And you guys can then attend that, and then you can add it in to your PMI profile to get some PDUs. All right. Just for PDUs, yes. All right. Hey, Andrew, I joined your online class in March. Is the online channel for you mentioned for PDUs? Just now for PDUs. Yeah, I just shared that link with you guys. 7 No Joke 7 says, are you planning to publish a new Udemy course for who needs to pass PDUs? No, we'll just do it on our YouTube channel, and then everybody gets it for free, right? So that's even better. So that way no one needs to pay for it. Satay says, is everybody getting the same questions now? Based on the feedback given, I feel like that. Are they still developing questions? I can't comment on that. I've never seen these exams. So I haven't heard, somebody asked me with the Stacy complexity model. I have not heard any questions on this. Has people gotten questions on this? And, I haven't heard anybody have any question, but the Stacy complexity model, it's basically a model to categorize your work in. And it categorizes, I think, into four different parts, I believe is how they categorize that. I think it's like simple, complicated, complex, right? So I don't think, I haven't heard anybody get any questions on that. All right, somebody says, Lana says, your book is amazing. Thank you. Well, thank you, Lana, for saying that. Taking your exam, Steve is taking his exam on 4/29, coming up in a few days. I'm following Andrew's advice and waking up early in the morning. I do that too. Not doing any studying on my last day. Hey, that's what I do. Eating a good breakfast on exam day. Yeah, don't get hungry. If I get hungry, I can't focus, man. It's just can't focus at all. Get a good night's sleep. All right, hold on, guys. I scrolled down too much here. All right, hey, Andrew, it's a good question. Somebody says, okay, wait a minute. So Ray updated his thing. Ray says it's 60% agile, 10 matching questions, 4 EVM, 5 MBTI, and 2 Tuckman. That sounds more like our PMP. Okay, if you want, hopefully nobody saw the beginning of this video, and it's fast forward and I missed this part. So Ray says 60% agile, common now, right? That seems to be the average number. Matching is 10. That's about normal. EVM is still quite high at 4, but it's okay. 4 EVM. MBTI, that's a lot. All right, MBTI, a lot of people, I'd get 1 or 2. If you make sure to review that video with the MBTI, please. 5 questions, that's quite a lot. Sharma says, if a project CPI and SPI is below 1, that means it's not good. Then what should the PM do? The PM should issue a change request or come up with a change request or work with the team to find out how to fix that, because that means your project is over budget and behind schedule. Anytime a CPI or SPI is below 1, that's generally not good. Oh boy, GG for PMP says, what's MBTI? You have to go. There's a video I did on it. Just check 2 or 3 weeks ago. Check on that. Okay. 5 people, 5 minutes. Okay, so this is going back to the somebody's answering the question here about the triple nickel. 5 people, 5 minutes, 5 questions. All right, very good. Five groups, 5 days, 5 times. 4 nickels. No, 5 people, 5 minutes, 5 questions. I don't think it's 4. It's 5, 5, 5. Will you have access to my simulator for free? Unfortunately not. The TIA simulator that's going to come out will not be for free because it costs a lot of money to develop. The website costs an enormous amount of money to develop and to host it. It's going to cost a lot of money, but it's going to be reasonably priced. It's not going to be as expensive as the other simulators that I'm not going to mention the name, but there are some really expensive simulators. It's not going to be as expensive as that. That I can promise you. In a sense, Andrew, since we have a TIA course login, can we have a sneak peek of your new exam? I've scheduled my exam for 25th. If you are a TIA student, you can just email me. I'll let you know. All right. If you're a TIA in person, on one of our live class students, some of our live class students got to look at some of the questions already for reviews. All right. George says, Andrew, just to clarify, mine was 60% agile, 68% agile, 35% predictive, 5% other types. Had a good night's sleep, woke up, worked out, and briefly skimmed the materials. All right. Sounds good. Working out is good. Put some blood into the head. I've been working out a lot recently. Did you guys notice I've lost some weight? Did you guys notice that? I've lost 60 pounds so far. All right, 7 No Joke 7 says, I've both the simulators cut out. If you're hitting 70% on most mock exams by different provider, I think you're going to be okay. Is the definition of done a sprint planning meeting? The sprint planning meeting basically outputs the sprint backlog. The definition of done should generally come when they're working with the customer. Any resource on YouTube to get more clarity on the Scrum topic? Sharma, if you watch my Agile videos in the course, I think you're going to be fine. I covered Agile like crazy in my class, all right? Because the DevOps... Okay, read the Agile Practice Guide. I always recommend that. DoD is done in the sprint planning meeting. That sounds correct. Got your exam on Friday. Good luck. Make sure you study well. Yeah, if you guys, a lot of you guys have mentioned MBTI. If you don't know what MBTI is, you need to look that up or watch the video I did on it earlier. Given that you'll have a TIA simulator, you're going to update your Udemy mock exam. I'm going to change it up a little bit, but I'm going to tell everybody to use the simulator. The problem with the Udemy testing engine is there's no drag and drop feature. And that little, I'm telling you guys, I'm adding something very unique to my simulator that the Udemy engine will not support. It has to be custom built for me. PMI Study Hall. Marcy is saying, have you come across PMI? I don't know what PMI Study Hall is. I've never heard of that. I just got the invite to join today, and it seems like PMI is doing their simulations. I don't know what that is. I have to look that up. I have to make a note of that. PMI Study Hall. Congrats, Andrew. Thank you. Somebody has a question here. When working on a software development project and one of the client detects a defect, and rejects one of the deliverables, do I submit a change request or ask them to fix the issue? And one of the client detects a defect and rejects one deliverable. I have never ever recommended to anyone to tell anyone to just go out and fix an issue. Submit a change request or ask the team to help fix the issue. Try to resolve the issue. Now, if resolving the issue would require more money, change in scope, change in schedule, then it would actually be good to submit a change request. All right. So the only time you really want to get a change request is when there's modification to the project management plan. It's an interesting question. Is the sprint goal the output or the input? I'm not sure what that is. Your clothing looking loose. Yeah, well, you lose 70 pounds, 60 pounds. That happens. Somebody says, yeah, I got invited to PMI study hall. So I'm not sure what is PMI study hall. So I'm going to copy and paste that here. I want to take a look at that later. PMI study. I'm actually looking at it right here. All right, so I just put a link on my screen there. Take a look at it later. I'm not sure what that is. Yes, ask Miracle. She can get you my information. Is there a technique to answer unknown, unfamiliar questions? No, just follow the mindset. Keep the mindset in mind. Keep the techniques. When I went through the mindset, keep those things in mind. I think you're going to be all right. Critical path method and what is the key to making it perfect? That's too long. Not here. That critical path method takes me a good hour alone to teach it. If you have my videos, go through. I think I did a great job on critical path method. I really spent a lot of time on there. So go through those videos, the critical path method section. My neck looks thinner. Thanks. Yeah, go through my Udemy videos on the critical path. I think you're going to be all right. I'm always stuck. Sharma says, I'm always stuck in questions where they ask indirectly what should be the input or output of a process. Do I need to remember all? You do not need to memorize all 49 processes. I mean, you need to understand them. I don't need you to be able. And you guys got to understand, when I say you don't need to memorize all 49 processes, what I'm saying is you don't need to memorize all 49 processes, their names, exact names, and their exact inputs, and all their ITTOs. No, that's not what this exam is about. There's no real technique. You just have to, if you understand what this process is, if you know what they're doing in this process, you should have some kind of an idea of what is the output there. All right. Sprint. Okay, guys. What other questions? I think I got everybody's questions here. It's a good question. If I'm a member of PMI, is it worth keeping the PMI membership? You should be a member to take your exam. That's something that you have to decide. PMI offers certain types of PDUs. They offer certain book downloads and other benefits to members. If you don't find those things beneficial, then I wouldn't do it. It's not an input to sprint plan. All right, so I got some more questions here. Somebody's asking, Seven No Joke says, anyone know if a sprint goal comes after the sprint planning meeting? Or as an output, is it necessary input for the sprint planning meeting? So first of all, the sprint goal. That is basically what they're going to, the objective set to what's going to get done in that sprint. Now, the sprint goal is basically outlined in the product backlog. Sprint goals are generally something that's done between the product owner and the project team or the development team. So you're asking a very specific question, right? You're saying, hey, where is that done? It should be done, it helps to create the actual product backlog. Comes from sprint planning. What formula should we know? Should we focus on knowing? You should understand the outputs of your formulas. In the back of this book, I do have a whole lot of formulas in there that you guys should know for your exam. Understand the formulas, understand what their meaning is. If I say CPI is 0.6, you know what that means. If I say SPI is 1.2, you know what that means. If I say EV is 400, you know what that means. Know what they mean. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are getting questions on calculations, but they are getting questions on knowing what this formula means. Somebody says, I bought my book, should arrive here tomorrow. Thank you, congrats. Make sure to study well. Somebody says, good evening. I've been watching the video, really informative. Thank you. Did I review the Google Project Management certifications? No, I did not. I remember somebody asked me that. Now I forgot. I'm not sure what Google, PMI is known for project management. I'm not sure if Google is known for project management. Okay, somebody says, can you please talk about reading the question first and then reading the answers, the question's answer first and reading the question. In my study guide, I say that. I say you can use that method. Some people use that and sometimes I use it. Here, if I come up to a really big question, a lot of text, 2 paragraphs, I'll probably just glance the answers and then look back at the question. A short question, I may just read it going down. But I would say 60% of the time, I actually read the answers first. I don't really read it in depth. I just glance at it and then I read the question. So I know what I'm trying to look for as I read it. I think that technique works. It's something I do mention in the study guide to do. Okay, you guys are talking there. That's a good question. Do you think the addition of Agile has simplified the exam a bit? What if I have observed is that if you're clear with all the concepts and definitions to crack the Agile? Yes. I believe the PMP got easier because of the addition of Agile. Agile is a very easy concept. Once you understand it, it's a very easy concept. Agile doesn't have 49 processes and 5 billion documents and 7 trillion ITTOs. Agile is meant to be simple. It's meant to be easy to understand. So when you have the old PMP exam being 90 to 100% predictive and PMBOK based, the exam is very difficult because it's tested on a very difficult book concept itself. But when you bring something simple into the exam, then the exam, of course, will become simple. Or at least, Antonio says 80% Agile. This is the biggest number I've seen so far. And so if they bring in 70, 80% of the questions, that's a big number there, buddy, of a simple concept, then the exam itself will become easier, in my opinion. Agile is a simple concept, and it has to be because it's made to be simple. So imagine you take the SAT exam, which is a very difficult exam for most high school students, and then you include middle school or elementary topics on it. Then yes, the SAT will become easier for students. So I think that's what happened here. But the world is moving to Agile. More and more products are being developed, maybe not being rolled out or initiated in Agile methods, but more and more products are being made in Agile methods. So PMI did the right thing by including it on the test. Cleared the exam on Friday at 80% Agile, man. That's a lot. 80% Agile and hybrid. That's a lot. Does the word software development means that it's referring to Agile? I wouldn't say necessarily that it's referring to Agile. Software development can follow waterfall. It's done it for many, many years. Marcy, interesting there. This is a good one. I love this question. Another PM coach was talking about what you're talking about going with your first choice and not going back to change answers. What's your thought on that? If you watch my exam tips video and you read the exam tips section in the back of the book, I don't support that. I don't do it. I have 62 certifications. I've taken over 100, at least 110 certification exams. And there were exams that I've gone back and I've changed a lot of questions. There were a couple of exams that I passed that I went back and I changed quite a few questions. I'm talking like 20%. Sometimes I think that first choice is not always going to be the best answer for the reason because when you read the question, a good question will try to trick you into selecting the incorrect answer. So if you read it too quick, like you just fly through the question, you're not giving it much thought, you're not looking for those keywords, then your first choice may actually be incorrect. So I don't support that. All right. I don't think, read it carefully, select a choice. What I think you should do is be able to justify your choice. So that's my thought on that. I'm not a supporter of it. But it's something I've heard before, and it's not something I personally do, so I can't support it. What project documents do not need change control when change update is required? It's a good question. The change control board, and that question really doesn't have an answer because it depends on the project. It depends on the organization. There's no PMI answer to that. PMI does not state that. PMI doesn't have a list that says these documents can only be changed. These project documents, not any component in a PM plan that needs a change needs to go through a change request. But certain project documents may or may not need. They don't publish that. They don't say anything that they don't have a list in there. But anything like baselines and stuff will need baselines, project management plan components. Where and well will the sim be published? I'll give you guys that later in a couple of weeks. Can you use a servant leadership mindset? Yes, use it throughout your exam. Okay, very good. Okay, guys, very good. We spent a lot of time on questions. They're much more than I thought, almost an hour there. Let's go and do some practice questions. I know a lot of you guys came to do the practice questions. Let's go and do some practice questions. Let's knock these out here. All right, we got 10 practice questions. Let's knock these out. Okay, so once again, I am going to go through the questions. We're going to read the questions. You guys put the answer in the box. Put the answer in the box. Oops, hold on. Put this back over here. Yep. Okay, so put the answer in the box. Let me see how well you guys are doing. Pointer options. Yep, here we go. Okay, guys, here we go, guys, with question number 1. As workload increases, a project manager realizes there are insufficient resources on a project, so several major tasks going to be outsourced. This will likely mean that more than half of the team will be outside consultants. What should the project manager do first in this scenario? A, double check the communication management plan. B, review the procurement management plan. C, involve the project sponsor. D, design an organizational chart. Okay, what answer did you guys get? Let's see what answer you guys got. Practice question. What should the project manager do first? All right, we got A here. Somebody said A. We got some B's. A lot of B's. A couple of A's. A couple of B's. All right, let's see what you guys will get. So in this one, it's talking about. In this one, it's talking about, the answer is B. In this one here, it's talking about there's several tasks going to be outsourced. So we know it's going to be something to deal with getting something from outside the project, right? Meaning that more than half the team will be outside consultants. So if you're dealing with outside consultants, what's the first thing you're going to do in this situation? The first thing you're going to do is look to how you manage your outside consultants. The way you manage your outside consultants, the way you hire outside consultants is going to be through your procurement management plan. That's the best answer on this one. Question number 2. To complete your project, 1,200 resource hours must be outsourced, but because of internal policies, you can only select a vendor who comprehends all the requirements. There are 96 vendors who might qualify. What should the project manager do first in this case? A, negotiate directly with each vendor. B, conduct a bidder conference with the vendors. C, send the procurement management plan to each provider. A, add each provider to the stakeholder register. All right, let's see who in here. Study their procurement section. Study their procurement section. What answer did you guys get? All right, we got a lot of B's here. A lot of B's. Number 2 is B. All right, a lot of B's here. Okay, so you guys, that means you guys have been studying very good, because if you haven't been studying, you wouldn't know what a bidder conference is. You know what really gives away this question? You really have to read it. A lot of what's in the beginning is not so needed, right? It's a lot of useless information. And welcome to PMP. They do give a lot of useless information. Like 1,200 resource hours is not necessarily interesting, but it's going to be outsourced, but because of internal, you have to select a vendor. So you know that you're going to have to, something is going to help you select one of these vendors. And then you're faced with, whoa, it's a lot of vendors there. So what do we do when we have to select a lot of vendors? Well, hey, do a bidder conference. A would not have been good, because negotiating with each vendor, you know what that would have done? That would have taken an enormous amount of time, because you have 96 vendors. You don't send your procurement management plan to anyone. It's more of an internal project document. That's how you manage. You don't send how you manage your vendors to your vendors. Add each of the provider to the stakeholder register. No, until you select that vendor, they're not really a stakeholder on your project yet. So I don't think I would add them to the register yet. Practice question 3. After a project to increase customer satisfaction in the next 4 months is initiated, the project manager needs to identify best practices used in that industry for the product development. What should the project manager do in this case? Benchmarking, focus group, facilitation, or affinity diagram. So this is going to be a real tool question. You just have to know your tools here. All right. So we got some B's here. What do you guys have? We have some B's here. We got some B's. We got some A's, B's. A's, B's. All right, so we got a lot of A's, we got a lot of B's. So we got to ask ourselves, which one of these choices helps to identify best practices in a particular industry? Benchmarking. By benchmarking looks at what's happening in your current industry. Focus group is just bringing together experts and people to understand something or understand their opinions on things. But benchmarking is really a tool that, okay, what's the benchmark in this industry? So if I pick up my phone and I say, okay, I want to log in with a fingerprint reader, what's the benchmark? What's the best practice in this industry to log in into using a fingerprint reader? I think it's about a second. So that would be a best practice. Question number 4. A project manager is doing the following: performing a risk analysis, incorporating a high-level scope, and utilizing expert judgment to create a document. Based on this description, what activity is a project manager doing? What is the project manager doing here? All right, I thought this one here was pretty easy. Okay, we got an A. Come on, guys, this one here should have been pretty easy. It's like a giveaway here. All right. Okay, this one here was pretty easy. I got some D's in here. Some people said D. Yeah, it's pretty much A. You are high-level risk, high-level scope, use of expert judgment is to make a charter. Remember, the high-level scope. A high-level scope is not in the scope. First of all, the scope statement does not have the project scope. It's how to manage the scope. Preparing the project management plan. There's nothing high-level in a project management plan. It should be a detailed thing. Managing it's not risk. It's telling about high-level scope. So project charter has a high-level scope, has a high-level budget, has a high-level risk. Okay, guys, here we go. Practice question number 5. On an agile project, team members are having issues resolving a technical issue that could affect the project. This issue could impact the schedule and delivery of the sprint. What should the project manager do next in this case? Ask the product owner for solutions. Meet with the external consultant to find a solution for the team. Research ideas to solve the problem, implement them for the team, and meet with the team to brainstorm ideas to resolve the issue. If you know your agile practices, you should get this one pretty easy. So this is going to test your mindset of agile practices. Let's see if you guys have been studying. Okay, so some of you guys got B. We got a lot of D's. We got a few B's, a lot of D's. All right, guys, the answer here is D. Meet with the team to brainstorm ideas to resolve the issue. Is the answer. Okay, good. A lot of you guys got this because anytime there's some kind of PMP mindset, agile mindset, right? If there's an issue, have the team fix it. The team is the best people to fix it. Mindset for your exam. Don't go around asking the boss, sponsor, product owner for solutions. That's never an answer. If you ever see that as an answer, don't select it. Meet with an external consultant. That's okay, but the team is best. Research ideas to solve the problem. You should not go about implementing for the team. This part here, implementing for the team, no. The team should know, let the team have a say. If you're anytime you take your exam and there's some kind of choice where it's like bypass the team, push them out the way, and you're going to do it for them, that's never a choice. Skip that choice. Remember that. That's right. Agile mindset, team fix issues. Correct. Question number 6. All right, we're halfway here. Due to a recent regulation, a new feature has been added to the product backlog. The product owner has added it to the bottom of the product backlog, and has informed the team not to complete the feature. What should the project manager do first in this situation? Inform the team to complete the feature last on the project. Well, I guess it is at the bottom of the product backlog. Meet with the product owner to find out why he doesn't want the feature to be completed. That's a good choice too. Analyze the feature and how it can affect the project if it is not added to the completed product. That's a good choice too. Stop the project until this issue is resolved. All right, what answer do you guys have? Seven No Joke 7 says, this is interesting. There's no product owner in the agile team. What should the agile PM do? Try to get one. All right, what do you guys have here? So we got a C, we got B's and C's. So in this one, they're asking, what should you really be doing first is really what they're saying. So there's been a recent regulation for a new feature that's been added. We got a conflict going on here. A lot of C's and we got a lot of B's here. We're like split 50-50 on this one, guys. C's and B's. So a new feature has been added to the product backlog. The owner has added it and then informed the team not to complete it. Yeah, this is how PMP looks, by the way. If you want to know what the questions look like, just very similar to this, where you're like stumped to say, this is some crazy scenario. But remember, it is a regulatory thing. So that's something to keep in mind. So what do you do first? And let's bring down the answer here. Now, inform the team to complete the feature last on the project. I don't think I would do that because, you see, this is not addressing the problem. There's some kind of problem. If not, they're not going to ask you the question. If you're just going to tell the team, because if it's added to the bottom of the product backlog, it's by default going to probably get done last anyhow, if they get to it. Stop the project. Exam. Do not ever stop the project unless there is a human safety problem. Unless someone is going to die. This is not a joke, okay? This is not a joke. You do not stop the project unless there is something that might be ethically against the law, that might get somebody killed or seriously breaking the law. You don't stop a project under any other circumstances except those. So definitely you're not stopping a project. Then you really got this. This is a good question. It's like, okay, what do we do first? Do we meet with the product owner to find out why he doesn't want it? Or do we analyze the feature? That's really it comes down to. So what do you do first? Imagine you're a project manager and you find out this problem. What do? Do you find out about the feature or do you meet with the product owner to understand why he doesn't want to add it? I think I would do C then B. I think I would say something like, well, before I go and speak to the product owner, let me know what this feature is about. Let me know how it affects the project. That way when I approach the product owner and hear his or her side on why he doesn't want it, then I can best update him and encourage him, I should say, to put it in because this is how it affects the project. Maybe the product owner doesn't even know how it's going to affect the project. So you would want to do C and D here. And the other thing here is stop the project until the issue is resolved, right? Now, remember, we didn't say stop the project for them to put it in. All right. Okay, guys, question number 7. On a past Agile project, customers were unhappy with the delivery of the product. They claimed the requirements were not met in the final product. What should the PM do? What should the PM do on the next Agile project to ensure customers are happy? Deliver small incremental parts of the product throughout. Ask the team Ask the team to meet with the customers on a daily basis to understand the requirements. Ask the customers to give a detailed list of the requirements. Inform them the project was completed as per specification. Okay, what do you guys got? Yeah, I thought this one was pretty easy. I remember I'm writing this and I'm saying, this was a pretty easy one. You got to give them something. Because the other one I thought was pretty difficult. So, answer. Good. Deliver small. So if you know agile principles, it's all about small increments. And that's by implementing small increments, you're better able to get feedback. By producing small increments, you're more likely to meet your customer requirements than one big thing, like you do in a waterfall project. All right, question number 8. A team is moving from predictive to agile methods and is having issues deciding how to create a product backlog. This has led to a delay in the start of the project. What should the PM do in this situation? Review training options that the team could attend. Have the PM train the team on agile methods. Inform the team the product backlog is created by the PM. Have the team meet with the sponsor to review this issue. All right, another easy one, guys. I thought this one here was pretty easy. All right, what do you guys have? And 70 Joke 7 says, given the project, maybe they didn't have that. That's a good one. Given the project was agile, and they're talking about the previous question, there's a good one. It could be because maybe the sprints were too big, or the increments weren't small enough. All right, guys, answer here, guys. The answer is, all right, A, pretty easy. Review the training options. So here's some tips for your exam. When it says training, this comes out of your exam objectives about training the team. You shouldn't be the one doing it. PM training. No, you should help find training options. Obviously, the product backlog is not created by the PM, so that's wrong. It's created by the product owner. Have the team meet with the sponsor to resolve the issue. You're not going to do that. Never go to a sponsor to resolve. You come up with the resolution. Maybe have the sponsor choose something. Number 9, on a hybrid project, one of the team members is unhappy with the progress of the project so far. The team member is working on the installation of the product and claims the delivery methods will not work. What should the PM do in this scenario? Remove the team member from that phase of the project. Ask the rest of the project team to find a solution to the issue. Stop the installation on the team has a working solution. Meet with the team member face to face to understand why he feels that way. All right, what do you guys have here? This one, you're gonna, it's a little tricky one here. All right, you gotta be a little careful here. If you know you're agile and if you study your agile, you're gonna get this one just like that, right? If you have that agile mindset inside of you there. I see all of you guys have got that mindset. Maybe all of you guys watch my videos already. Okay, so first of all, don't fire people. Here's an interesting mindset. Don't fire people. It's generally not a good option on an exam to go around firing people. I think we want to work with people, not fire them. It kind of removes A. Ask the rest of the project team to find a solution to the issue. No, let the team work together, not just, ask the rest of them to solve somebody else's issue. Stop. Once again, you're not going to stop. The best thing here to do in this situation is to really meet with that team. And if you guys remember your mindset, face-to-face is the best choice, best way to solve things is face-to-face. All right, guys, let us go here to a quick drag and drop. Let's do a quick drag and drop. What we're doing here is we are going to be dragging the agile terms to its meanings. All right. So go ahead, spend a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, and put these in order, right? Drag them to the term. If you're watching my Agile videos, I basically took it right out of there. Somebody's saying study Agile. Yeah, remember some people were saying like 70% Agile. You better know Agile inside out. Listen to this guy, bro. Hope so. All right, so let's see what you guys got here. All right, a lot of you guys have got the answers. Let's put the answers in, guys, in this one. Let's drag them over here. Let's see what we got. Match the, okay, designated person that represents the customers on the project. Let's see if you guys remember who that is. That is the product owner. An inspection done at the end of the sprint by the customer. By the customer, that's definitely the sprint review. Project requirements from the stakeholders. The product backlog. Several sprints worth of work directed to operations to possible rollout is definitely a release. Consider rollout as being released. All right, it seems like everybody's got that one. That means you guys, if you understand this much, it means you're on your way there to understand an Agile concept. So I think you're doing very well here. If you were able to get this, because this really is a lot of the Agile concepts on it. I did create a few more drag and drops for my simulator, exam simulator that's coming that's going to really test your Agile methods there. Okay, guys, that was my 10 questions. That was our 10 questions there that we had to cover. By the way, did you guys like the video? Did you guys click, it's free to click like, all right? Make sure you guys click like, please. There's 99 of you guys. Click like. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not hard, right? You just click that like button. Somebody says, I've been watching your live sessions for a while now, but I want to thank you. I bought your classes to support you. Hey, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, guys. Well, we are done here. These sessions go every week. Every week I help my students because I get a lot of students in my different books, my Udemy course or live classes. Lots of people join us. So thank you guys for attending this week. The Sims, hopefully by the end of May. Okay, hopefully my exam simulator will be out by the end of May. All right. I've motivated you to another level. Hey, you can do it. You guys can all do it. Look how many people are passing. Join me on LinkedIn if you haven't. You can see a lot of more people passing. Remember, if they can do it, you can do it. It's not that difficult. I'm 100% sure you guys can all pass this exam on the first try. So with that in mind, guys, thank you for attending. I hope to see you guys next week. Remember something. If you pass your exam, don't forget about us. Don't forget about our study group. Join us again. So you can help motivate others with your stories. And don't unsubscribe from the channel because we're going to be adding a lot more content soon. Unfortunately, my school is going under our routine audits, and I got to get over those audits, and I'm going to add a lot more content. The price range for the simulator, it'll be affordable. Haven't determined that yet, but it'll be affordable. And Gloria says, I did my exam last Friday, 80% Agile. Well, that's a lot. All scenario-based, of course. Guys, thank you, guys. I will see you guys next week, same time, 7 o'clock. You guys got this. You guys are going to pass your exam. For those of you guys taking your exam within the next 7 days, good luck. For the rest of you guys, study hard. And I will see you guys in 1 week. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you guys soon.